Yes, okay, so after these perceived crisis and some, real crisis mixed in, actually they can take a perceived crisis and like ramp it up till it becomes a real crisis. Um, of people bullying each other online, something like that. After this gets to a point, uh, that trope is just repeated, and then okay, now people are ready to accept censorship on a wide scale on the internet, on platforms where they all are, and they know are vital politically to anyone, that are economically and politically. Being banned from them is literally like being banished out into the wilderness from a functioning village. And yet everyone is just totally on board with that. They love it. It's like, oh, the first example was Alex Jones, and that was, he was pretty over the top, pretty homophobic. There were some real issues there. So the whole turning the frogs gay video and some other red-faced just rants. I'm a full-blooded American. I don't know. I saw some crazy stuff. Okay. So we agree that's maybe scary. That's maybe all right. But okay, no. So they okay, right? He loses. He's done. We're removing him, deplatforming him. But then they immediately removed like 300 independent news sources after that, and nobody cared. Nobody noticed. And they've just removed and banished everybody. Now it's just taken for. You say something weird on Facebook or even use a wrong word that you didn't know was the wrong word. I'm not allowed to say COVID-19 or something, whatever the word is. And they just go, oh, you've gone against our community guidelines. And they banish you for 3 days or 7 days or however long it is. Maybe they do that to you right at a critical political time, right during election, the peak of an election cycle or something like that. So that you're not able to, whatever influence you have, whatever little reach you have, you're no longer there. You're no longer part of that dialogue. So that time you've been removed. And people say, well, you have the freedom to go somewhere else, Jeff. Well, some people actually tried to start their own platform, and they were shut down. They were taken off the servers. So we truly have granted a monopoly to this monopoly surveillance tech that is now totally in bed with the NSA and other elements from our steady state. And this is a real problem. That's what makes it worse than what Neil Postman describes. It's not just the fact that we've gone from a print-based culture to a digital culture. It's also the fact that that digital medium itself is now controlled by the most nefarious elements, which have morphed into a ubiquitous, homogeneous wall that's unresistible. That's why nobody wants to talk about it. That's why it sounds like crazy talk. If you start to talk about the real players, maybe there's a reason why everyone's so quick to really vilify that, including myself. I don't want to, oh God, to think that you're going to take on Goldman Sachs and the CIA and the FBI and MSNBC and the Atlantic Council and Bellingcat, and I mean, it's when you really define the players and look at them and go, oh my God, the CEOs of the corporations and the multiple board directors, that are on multiple of these financial entities, the hedge fund people, the Larry Summers of the world, the Timothy Geithners of the world. Nobody really wants to do anything about that. Robert Reich never seems to post, right, about the real freaking players, about Raytheon. It's like, why Robert Reich is so aware, so astute, so just kind of independently over there now. Just I'm no longer. I can just kind of do my own thing here. I'm just a stand. I'm your like uncle, going to tell you, nice things, what you should think about the current Democrats and Republicans, and I'm mostly just going to rant against the Republicans, like the rest of the corporate Democrats, and every now and then say something really astute, But how come I don't seem to ever kind of put the focus on Raytheon, Lockheed, Goldman Sachs, these people that are continually making plans, carrying things out, financing things, being in cabinets, and yet we don't talk about them. We're focused on personality stuff. What's wrong with Tucker Carlson over on Fox News, and what's wrong with Vladimir Putin and the coming cyber attack. That seems to be the new fear thing. Is cyber vulnerability, cyber attack. Why can't we just make voting systems that work, that inspire confidence for Republicans and Democrats? I'll just observe and go, wow, that system works. Instead, we stay on Diebold after we know it doesn't work. And what is it, colonial, whatever it is now? I don't know. So it's like we know that these things are corrupted and the systems don't work, and yet we'll talk about Stormy Daniels' boobs. Oh yeah, we should have talked about that. We've actually had a problem with our election since 2000, right? Since Roger Stone and the whole whatever dimpled Chads and stop the count and whatever all that. I don't know. It's crazy. 2000, right? So we went, oh my God, that election sucked. Catherine Harris and Jeb Bush. Like wow, we got a problem, right? We never really got around to that. Then it's like 911 hit or something. I don't know. We just amnesia. And then 2004, whoa, Ohio, oh my God, crazy problems. We never like. So now it's turned into it's another partisan thing that's really divided. It's like, Jeff, you really have to take it serious. Like all these Trump supporters, like they're out there now. So we lost Trump as a specter that was getting ratings for CNN. We lost that, but gosh darn it, Jeff, those Trump supporters are out there. They're everywhere. They're crazy. The insurrection, January 6th. Investigation. We have to investigate that. We have to look into that. So much right now. Don't worry about health care. Forget it. We still don't have health care. A pandemic hit us. A lot of people died. Mistakes were made. People were put on intubators and left to die alone. They could have been cured with early treatments. Anyway, Jeff, forget all that. No, man. That's crazy talk. No. You know what I mean? January 6th. Yeah, that's your new Russia, Jeff. Embrace it. We can't get beyond that. This is the thing. January 6th. So there's always like a thing, some new thing, right? And pretty soon it's going to be cyber attack. And the cyber attack could be bad.